Companies are always looking for a patent that will ruin gamers' entertainment, and that is happening yet again with Sony because now they are developing an AI that censors games in real time. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting the channel through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, over the years, we've heard about a lot of situations that are similar. We heard not even that long ago that Sony had a bad actor detection patent that felt a lot like a digital credit score. Their goal was to monitor what people were doing and saying within video games, and now they're pushing it even further with a patent to censor games in real time. Now, I already do not trust these major companies, and this is going to make it even worse for a lot of people. It means that your accounts could get, of course, banned in real time. It means you could be sort of coddled by the AI, and ultimately, I do think that this is extremely dangerous for the video game industry. Companies are always looking for a way to control us, and this is only going to make it significantly worse. So this is an article over on Geeks and Gamers. It says Sony has patented an AI program that can censor games for content in real time, effectively making an adult-oriented game child-friendly, or at least child-friendlier. Now, over the years, we have seen a lot of companies dumb down their video games in order to appeal to a new audience or this fictitious modern audience. We have been very worried about upcoming games like Grand Theft Auto 6 potentially toning down the graphic content because it's not as marketable as having something that's Fortnite that's family friendly, and it means a larger audience, the lower the score. Though this is a whole different level of 1984. It says the idea behind this AI tech is to allow parents to control what is censored from a game their children are playing. They can choose the setting they wish, violence, cursing, sexual content, what have you, and the AI will take it from there, changing or blurring out the stuff parents don't want their kids exposed to. Newsflash, if you don't want your child exposed to adult content, maybe don't let them play the game, and maybe keep the adult content away from them. You're the ones who are buying the games. Do your due diligence. I'm so sick and tired of this narrative being pushed that, oh, companies need to protect the children when it's also on the parent. Sure, companies can set up things like AI for moderation. They can sit here and attempt to protect their audiences, but we know that, of course, when you give them an inch, they take a mile, and they will always push the boundaries. But we also need to be looking at parents, because I, as an adult, should not have to worry about Sony coming up with this entire censorship system because you do not want to do your job. And sure, they're apparently trying to market this right now as being completely optional, but it's going to be too late in 10 or 15 years when they implement this and all the adult content is forced to be censored. I'm going to sit here and call it out while we still can. It says, by virtue of the programming, it can also be tailored to each parent's rules for their kids, funneling out violence but not cursing, for example. Now, do I trust this? Of course, you already know my answer. Absolutely not. Sony is always a company that is looking to push the limits. I do not trust them. You should not either. And this is not the only major censorship patent that they have been focused on. I mean, this one was from 2024, but their goal was to protect the kids, which I ultimately do appreciate and support, right? I do think that children do need to be protected online, but we know that there ends up being censorship that affects adults at the end of the day. And we all know how bad censorship is. Censorship is telling a man he can't eat a steak because a baby can't chew it. And wow, is the AI censorship situation becoming extremely prominent extremely quickly. It says, according to a recently published filing, the Sony Bad Actor patent outlines a system that tracks and scores players across online multiplayer games based on how frequently they exhibit negative behavior. If a player crosses a predetermined predetermined threshold by, for example, engaging in inappropriate chat or griefing, Sony's system could automatically limit their access to online features until they improve their behavior. This is complete and utter bullshit. This is like having a Chinese social credit score, and companies should not be allowed to do this. Now, will they actually put this into action? Will they actually establish this? Who really knows? Either way, though, it is in the back of their mind. They have filed this because they want this to be sort of at their disposal if they feel like using it. And sitting here and telling people they need to improve their behavior is so wild, because what their system determines is appropriate or inappropriate behavior is solely up to the discretion of Sony. It's not like there's some guideline system that every single person is going to agree on. And this also could mean that your account is locked down. The purchases you have made in the past could be ripped away from you, and your account could be unfairly banned. Now, this is a worry when it comes to AI moderation, that it can unfairly mark accounts and that it's extremely hard to get somebody that is actually alive on the other end of a phone line or a customer service line and get them to fix it. But this is, yeah, absolutely insane to think about that this is what Sony wants to do. It says their system wouldn't just mute or warn you, it could restrict your online gameplay entirely. And while we are seeing something slightly different with the AI that censors games in real time, if it can automatically detect and modify mature or sensitive material like gore and violence and sexual content and profanity, that means it is that much easier for companies to force developers to censor their work. I just don't think that we should be sitting here giving them any benefit of the doubt and saying, well, maybe they won't actually use this, because we know that they will if they can, and they are facing so much backlash over this, and rightfully so. F you, the Family Guy FCC episode predicted this. I'd like an AI that adds slurs and tits and offensive content into our games in real time. I'm seeking a $9 billion investment for 3% equity. The 90s, much simpler times. As long as it's optional and clearly labeled, that seems reasonable. And again, I do not necessarily agree. You always have to look at what the end game is with these companies. Why are they slowly implementing these systems? What is their end goal? What do they really want? And they really just want to control everything. They want to control the way you think. They want to control your purchasing habits. They want to control the content that you see. They are after world domination, and it sounds dramatic, but it is absolutely true. The conviction that Sony has to control the player experience through the automatic blurring and muting feels very corporate. While it might be looking nice for parents who want to protect their kids, it also feels like a slippery slope for artistic freedom. Things like this make me want to keep pushing with how far AI can go with sexual content. I've already trained Laura in AI models for this purpose already, and it sounds like I need to go harder. We get AI censorship on PlayStation before GTA 6, real-life episode of Black Mirror incoming. They're taking the fun out of it, people being angry and saying, is this for real? And unfortunately, it is. They have been at this for a long time. Now companies see the use of AI and how easy it is to control and censor, and I think things are only going to get worse before they get better, and it's very important that we constantly fight back against this. It's why I make videos like this, and it's why I hope you guys will share it, leave comments, but also go and interact with these posts, with these articles, and just try to cause a fuss about it, because it's the only way that companies might take a step back. So I will be following this very closely, but now apparently they've got this AI that's going to analyze on-screen visuals and audio in real time, dynamically intervening by muting dialogue and blurring and masking elements, and really it's an AI that censors games in real time, and who knows what that could mean for us in the future outside of the video game industry. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this and found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.